What's up, everybody? Eric here, driver lineup, world's okay steering wheel holder. It's been like a month, almost a month since I've made a video. And the crazy thing is that my channel has grown more in the last month of not making videos than it did the previous 3 months of making videos. So it's a weird algorithm, YouTube, but if it's that easy, then this is going to be great. So thank you to all the new subscribers, and thank you all for subscribing and just being a part of this journey. I really appreciate it. It's been wild. My focus in life has just shifted. It's just different. I'll get into it in future videos, which I have a lot of videos to make. There's been a lot going on. I got to talk about the state of the freight industry. I've actually been talking with several dudes from Freight Waves. It's been really cool. Kind of have this relationship going with a few folks at Freight Waves, and there's been some great insight. It's not good news. I hate to tell you that. If you want good news on the freight and the freight market, in the near future, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. I told you guys a few weeks ago, or not a few weeks ago, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, that we kind of were having this period of stabilization, at least in refrigerated contract freight, for the time being, but I don't think that's going to last. I think at best, the most that we could hope for is that our rates stay the same. And that is a tall order. That's a tall order. But I have zero expectation that our rates are going to go up over the next year, which is just crazy. But there's lots of reasons for it. But anyway, I'll give you guys some insight on that and some of the things that I've been going through. But I wanted to talk about, so I'm on home time right now. And I'm getting oil change, which I thought this place opened up earlier than they do. So I've got an extra 30 minutes. So I'm just sitting here, and it's my oil place. Everybody has their place. So I'm not just going to bail out and go to Jiffy Lube or something like that. Like, this is our place. Anyway, it's like, I get this load going home, and in the part of Texas that I live, it is not easy to get there as a solo driver. As a team driver, you snap your fingers and pick from 10 different loads going there. But as a solo driver, very, very difficult. Very difficult to work my way home. So if I want to be home on a specific date, I need to tell them I need to be home 4 days earlier than that, because it just never, ever works out to get home on time. Just because there's never any direct load. You always got to chain loads together to get here. So I get this load. I got it off Load Choice. And by the way, it was confirmed to me that Load Choice kind of plays along with things that are put in the system. In other words, I was supposed to be going home, and Load Choice had loads to Texas, which was interesting. So there's this load on there. It's the only one that's reasonable and that makes sense and wouldn't be dragging out and causing me to spill over by multiple days. So it's this chicken load going out of Louisiana to Texas. And I should have known better. I should have known better. I looked at the Google reviews. I'd never been to this place, which is rare, because it's rare that I find a place I haven't been to. And Google reviews were just a disaster. I mean, it was like the last 30 were just hammering this place for all kinds of issues, but the most prominent and prevalent was overweight issues, which is like my pet peeve. Like, that is, to me, overweight. We land robots on Mars and communicate with them and hike them around the planet and have pictures and videos sent back and sounds and all this shit. and can't get trailers loaded without being overweight. It's just bonkers to me that this shit still happens, especially with a customer that has like 30 reviews saying they're going to load you overweight. So obviously it's a big problem. And this is 30 reviews over the last 2 years. So you had a review 3 weeks ago slamming this place for being overweight, and you had a review 2 years ago slamming this place for being overweight, and 30 reviews in between those two all saying the same thing. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll be lucky, you know, like this. If I'm lucky and if this works out, then it would be perfect. So drive down to Louisiana, get the trailer washed out, get the trailer fueled up. Everything's good to go. Drive down to Louisiana. It's going to be a drop and hook. I get into this place in the middle of the night. The window for pickup was midnight to 3 p.m. That day. So I get there. It's a Sunday. I get there at 3:30 in the morning, I believe. I think it was around 3:30 in the morning. And I didn't at all expect this load to be ready. Because that was a big part of the complaints too, is that this place takes forever, and when they finally do get your load ready, it's overweight. So I was like, okay, I had no expectation that the load was going to be ready. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go drop off this trailer, check on the load, and then go park, do a 10, and I'll figure out how the hell to get this. It's going to HEB. Figure out how the hell to get it there, because it was a very short window, and it was just going to be interesting figuring out how to work it out. So I go there, take the empty trailer there, check in. There's nobody here. Nobody at this. Like, it's the weirdest. I've been to a lot of chicken plants, you guys. A lot of chicken plants. And I don't think I can ever recall ever going to one that was as big as this one, that the only employee there on a Sunday morning at 3:30 in the morning was the guard. Only. That's it. There was nobody else. That is massive employee parking lot, empty. Not a single car. He was parked by the guard shack. Nobody else. Nobody. This place is just dead. So that was bizarre and puzzling to me. I never seen that before. Usually if it's a 24-hour chicken plant, it's a 24-hour chicken plant, you know. So I check in with them. I'm thinking there's just no way. In my mind, it was like, okay, well, they're probably not going to be open until like 6 a.m. or something like that. So I go up to guard shack and, hey, man, I got a load, you know, it should be ready by 3:30 today or sometime, you know, this afternoon. I just want to drop this trailer off. And by the way, is there nobody here? And he says, oh, yeah, we don't open until Monday morning. We're closed all day Sunday. Okay. Well, I really hope this load's ready then. And so he looks it up. Yeah, we got that trailer ready. It's good to go. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is amazing. I'm going to go drop off this empty, pick up this loaded trailer, and be way ahead of schedule, right? So, go drop off the empty, which, by the way, this place was a nightmare to get the empties dropped off. Like, they need to do something different about where they have the empties, because it took some work and guts to get this trailer where they wanted it. But anyway, I get the empty trailer over there, go over, get underneath the loaded trailer, and it's extremely sloped. So I couldn't really tell what was going on. I mean, you know, my truck gauges showed not over, and the trailer showed extremely over, like ridiculously over. So I wasn't panicking too much, because they have a scale on the property, and they have a scale that reads out, you can get the axle weight. So they have a scale that you call the guard when you're on the scale, and he'll read back to you what you need to know, and then he'll give you a printout when you get to the guard check and all that good stuff, which is nice. So I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll go get on the scale, and then I'll figure it out. So I go get on the scale and call the dude, and he's like, oh yeah, I got you, man. You're good. Come on up to get your paperwork. I was like, okay, well, what's the weight at? And he goes, it looks like it's around 81,600. And I was like, okay, I can't leave like that. And he's like, what do you mean? You can't leave with, what do you mean? I said, I can't. This is a young guy. I was like, dude, I cannot leave. That's over gross, you know. And he said, well, can't you guys move your tandems? I'm like, dude, that is not, that the total weight of the truck. It doesn't matter. It's probably too heavy on the trailer too. But that doesn't matter at this stage. The point is, there's too much product in the trailer. It's over gross. It doesn't matter where it's at in the trailer. Like, I can't leave at almost 82,000 pounds. There's no way to fix that. Like, bro, I'm going to be driving through Houston. There's weigh stations on all sides of it. It ain't going to happen. I ain't leaving with it like this. And in the course of this conversation, I very quickly realized, oh, I'm like, I'm turbo effed because they're closed. So this ain't going to get resolved today. Like it's, there's no resolution for this today. The appointment was for the next morning at like 0500. So there's no way, like the appointment's now lost, and like this is, turbo effed. So I tell him, so I go over to the guard shack, and he calls warehouse supervisor or someone, wake somebody up. And she's on speakerphone. And she's like, well, we'll have to rearrange some things in the trailer, but we're probably not going to be able to get to that until late tomorrow. And I was like, well, first of all, I'm talking to her now through the speakerphone. I said, first of all, it's more than rearranging things around a trailer. Like, this is almost 82,000 pounds. Like, there's multiple problems here. There's too much on the trailer, and there's way too much in the back of the trailer. So you got to get at least 2,000 pounds off of the trailer. And then the trailer gauge is still showing like 4,000 pounds over, even with the tandems moved. So not only do you got to get 2,000 pounds off the trailer, you got to figure out how to move 2,000 pounds to the front of the trailer. There's multiple problems that have to be worked out here. That's the first thing. The second thing is, this appointment at this customer is tomorrow morning. It's like 0500 tomorrow morning. Oh, well, if you don't want to leave with the trailer, then you'll have to work with your carrier on that. So I go drop this trailer and message dispatch, which then spends several hours getting with sales. I went and parked. I think there was a Burger King that had truck parking, fortunately, because this was a tiny town. There's no like truck stops or anything. The closest truck stop was like 40 miles away. So I talked to them and everything, and around 6:30 in the morning, they basically concluded what I told them, because it was like, well, we need to wait for sales to figure out with their day shift what's going on, and see if we can get this worked out, and see if we can get some help from their company. I told them, I was like, look, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't matter what sales is saying. I was just told by the plant supervisor and the guard that this is not going to be fixed today. Like, there's nobody there. They're not going to call someone in just to rearrange a trailer. Like, it's just, and then somebody's got to redo paperwork and all, it's just, it ain't going to happen. Oh, well, just wait until sales can confirm that, and then we'll figure out what to do. It's around 6:37 in the morning. Sure enough, exactly what I said was the case, was confirmed, was the case. There was just simply, it just wasn't going to happen. So basically come back and say, yeah, we found out that it probably is going to be late tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow night. Now, I had to be home. See, this is why I say you got to get home early. I had to be home. And here we are now in this situation where I've already told the family, hey, I've got this loads delivering there in town at 5 in the morning. I should be home probably noon or shortly thereafter. And now here we are dealing with the situation where the load is going to be maybe, if we're lucky, the next day. Maybe. Not acceptable. Just not acceptable. Now here's where it gets even worse. So I'm sitting there, and keep in mind, like, I had figured all this out at like 4 in the morning. And then I'm basically told that I'm going to be there for 34 hours. Like, it's not even like we'll get to you first thing the next morning. It's like, it's going to be tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, you know. So, you know, I'm going back and forth with the customer. I'm going back and forth with dispatch, with the guard, you know, over there, and dispatch. And basically the conclusion is that because of the way the contract is with this customer, detention wouldn't kick in until approximately 6 p.m. that day, because they get 3 hours free. So the appointment wasn't, the end of the window wasn't actually until 3 p.m. and then they get a free 3 hours. So detention wouldn't kick in until 6 p.m. And then the maximum for this customer for a 24-hour period is 8 hours. So in other words, basically the way that they could screw me over is that I could be there for a 34-hour reset and only get paid 8 hours of detention. I was livid. Oh, I was so pissed. Because I've gotten screwed out of detention twice. Big time screwed out of detention twice over the last 2 months, which I'm still fighting with Prime over and at war over. I mean, like, pretty significant, substantial amounts of detention that, because of some quirk or technicality, everybody's just kind of waving the white flag and saying, there's nothing we can do about the situation. The hell there isn't. So, you know, after all this shit, like, I was out, man. I was done. I was done. Like, I'm not gonna do this. So, you know, I called my fleet manager when he came in, and I was like, bro, like, I'm just going to drive my tractor home. Well, you'd have to eat the deadhead and all that stuff. You know, I don't care. I don't care. You know, I'm just not, I'm not going to sit in a Burger King parking lot with no facilities half the day, no truck stop or anything like that for 34 hours and get paid 8 hours of detention for it. And then who knows, like, I still anticipated that trailer was going to have problems, because from the way she was talking, was, as long as they get it under gross, they don't care. That's the way it sounded to me. So I knew there was going to be problems, and I told my fleet manager that too. I said, hey, you know, I hate to leave this to become someone else's problem, but it's going to be a problem. Even if they take that weight off, there's going to be a problem, because they're not talking like they're going to fix this. They're talking like they want to get it under gross. You know, after I explained everything, oh yeah, you know, to buy. Anyway, it's super long story. We're already 20 minutes into this. Moral of the story is, it's bullshit. It is such bullshit. Like, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. There's a lot of things I could complain about in trucking, but easily one of my biggest is overweight trailers, because there's just no excuse for it. The only reason that happens is that they're greedy and they're trying to pound as much stuff into that trailer that they can sell as possible, and you and your life be damned. Your time, your money, your energy, your family plans, all of that, F off. Don't care. They do not give a shit. It's all about them and their bottom line, because there's no other reason for it. There's no other reason. Like, there's no way possible that the person booking these, doing the selling of this product to the customer, there's no way they don't know that they're selling 47,000 pounds worth of product that's supposed to go on one trailer. How do you not know that? Which, by the way, the bills and the orders said 35,000 pounds. So there's some huge discrepancy going on there. Oh, so pissed. So I just bobtailed home, man. I was like, I want out from under it. I don't want a service failure. I don't want any blemish for this. It's not my fault. I'm not going to stay here for 34 hours and then have to fight to get paid 8 hours of detention for it. And then possibly be overweight again. And get stuck again. Oh, and also, because of its HEB, and HEB is super anal, they were saying that appointment may not happen until 2 days after the fact. So the appointment for the HEB side of this may have been 4 days after I picked up, which I was supposed to be home the next morning. All because they try to jam too much product in his trailer. Oh, I was so pissed. It was nice to bobtail home, though. It was definitely nice to bobtail home. So, all that said, about to get oil change on the car. Then I go clean up the truck and do some things to get it prepped and go from there. But anyway, hope you guys are having a great week. It's Monday, so hopefully it's having a great start of the week. Hope you had a great weekend. Be safe, make good decisions, always drive to thrive. Talk to y'all soon.